up? This is my very first vlog about traveling. This has been a very trying day. I am tired. I am cold. I'm hungry. But I regret nothing. I regret absolutely nothing. So I guess let me start at the beginning. This is my first time traveling internationally. I'm doing it all by myself. This is only my second plane ride ever. I've wanted to travel for a while, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I made my accommodations for Berlin, and that is where I am now. I can show y'all this lovely Airbnb later on. So get to the airport and it's like, you can't check in. And I'm like, oh my God, like what is happening? So I finally get to check in, think I'm going to be late for my plane, get to the gate, and the plane is running like an hour behind. So I'm like, oh, Jesus. But I'm here. I stopped by Varsity on the way, got myself a little heart attack burger before I left the States and made my way. So then we get to Amsterdam. I had a layover there that was supposed to be just an hour, but because the first plane was late, the second plane had to be rebooked. And having a language difference and trying to figure out what you're doing, whole new perspective. Like I knew this was going to be difficult, but I was just like, oh my gosh. So I really freaked out at one point in time when I was asking someone for help, and she's like, yeah, we have a lot of planes today. I'm sure we'll get you to Berlin today. And I'm like, there's a chance it might not be today? Like that's an option? But I made it. Got on that plane, came here. Ooh, about the first plane though. So first international flight ever. First like big plane. Like I went to Massachusetts earlier this year and it was a smaller plane, like 2-hour ride. Slept through most of it. This one though, it was like, I think it was 7 or 8 hours. And the guy next to me was a total champ. Like I was like, this is my first international flight. And like he helped me out with a lot of stuff, like me trying to figure out my tray and my food and not spill it everywhere. And even simple stuff that you wouldn't even think about, like how to lean my chair back. And at one point in time, I got up to go to the restroom, and luckily we were right near the restroom. So he saw me struggling to figure out the door, and he's like, you just do this. And I'm like, thank you. Explain all of this to me like I'm 5. And he did, and he did it in a non-condescending way. So shout out to that guy, wherever he might be. But anyways, so I get to Berlin and, text my Airbnb and I'm like, hey, I'm here early. I know we talked about possibly doing an early check-in. Is that going to be a possibility? Was not at all. So I'm here like 4 hours before I can get into my Airbnb with 2 gigantic bags and a backpack. Just, can you paint tourist across my forehead? Because I'm just wandering around like, what am I gonna do next? So I do go to this little cafe and I order like this London breakfast, and the name of the cafe, I'll put it on here in German, but it translates to, I think it's to like, both and also, and it was like, there was so much food. So I ordered what I thought was just like a simple breakfast. Like it said like eggs and fruit and some bread. And then I saw this chocolate cake and I was like, you know what? It's been a hard day. I'm gonna get some chocolate cake. And she brought it to me first. So I was eating my chocolate cake, sipping on a little hot coffee drink. And then she brings out this breakfast. I should have taken a picture. I should have. Oh my God. I think I finally have food. Okay, I'm back. So I got food. This pizza looks freaking delicious. Let me see. Yum. We're gonna be interrupted again probably, unless I talk quickly. I'll get to that in a second, but whole bunch of food. Like eggs, there were 3 like link sausage, like a whole bunch of grapes. Like, not as in like a whole bunch, but like, you know, like on a vine, a bunch. There was a kiwi that I didn't eat because I was just getting full. There was so much fruit, so much fruit. There was a basket of bread. Now the menu did say that, I'll give it that, but you know, sometimes things exaggerate, like probably especially in America. And that's one thing that I learned before I left. One thing I have to remind myself is not to expect America in other countries, because you'll get unzen real quick if you do. People are different, and for the most part, it's good. So, didn't eat all of this. The girl comes by and she's like, is everything good? I'm like, yeah, it's a lot. Like, I understand that Americans do tend to eat a lot, or at least we're portrayed that way, but not like this. Not like this. I started with a cake as an appetizer because I'm really representing out here for America, y'all. But I did finish off with another coffee drink, like just some kind of hot coffee with caramel in it, just kind of to kill more time, because I'm just, at this point in time, like it's 1:30. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me get something else and sit here and sip. So fun thing I learned though, there's not an option if you pay with card to leave a tip. And you don't necessarily have to tip in Germany because the servers make a living wage. Apparently that's what Google said, you know. So someone correct me if I'm wrong. But when I paid with a card, there wasn't the option to leave a tip. So be sure that if you do want to tip your servers or what have you, you go ahead and get cash, which I have failed to do. So that's on my to-do list tomorrow, along with grocery shopping. Because all we got here is some beer. I get a little liquor bar over there. Now we got pizza. So anyways, all over the place. I'm like, travel ADHD. After I finished at the cafe, I walked over to the Airbnb. And I did message the person renting the Airbnb. Y'all, I'm a little out of breath. Like, I just ran downstairs to get this food, and I'm on the 3rd floor. And I've run up and down their stairs like 3 times in the last like 10 minutes. But anyhow, I messaged the person to see if I could possibly do an early check-in. Yet again, I'm like, hey, you know, I know you said can't come like right now because there was someone, but how's the cleaning lady doing? Is she done? Is she close to done? What are we looking at? She's like, okay, I'll message her and see. Well, apparently the people before me trashed the place. So she's like, yeah, it's unfortunately gonna be 4 o'clock. So I'm just sitting there on the street corner like a bag lady, me and all my luggage, just awaiting. And I mean, it just is what it is. But finally at 4 o'clock, I got to come up here and packed all my stuff. Oh my gosh, I took a nice hot bath. I felt so gross. So gross, just being in a plane all day and just, and then I sat down to order myself some food. And I looked up Uber Eats because I saw that they had Uber at the airport. Ooh, and that's another cool point. So like, I left the airport, or I didn't leave the airport. I got off the plane, got my baggage or my luggage or whatever, and sat down to download this app called BlaBlaCar, which I heard from a friend in Germany that it's more popular here than like Uber and things of that nature. Really and truly only major cities have Uber, which luckily Berlin is one. So, I looked up Uber and it was like 59 euro, which is a lot, I thought. So I was like, let me see about BlaBlaCar. Let's see if their rates are better. Finally got that figured out. I should have downloaded that and gotten that set up before I left the States. I don't know what's wrong with me, but here we are. And they wouldn't be able to pick me up until Monday. So I'm like, no, it's Sunday. I really want to. Now, granted, had I known about the whole Airbnb situation, I guess I wouldn't have been in such a hurry. But I decided $59 for an Uber wouldn't be that bad. So I'll go ahead and gather my stuff. I'll walk outside. And there's literally just taxis lined up. And they're like, you need a taxi, you need a taxi, you need a taxi. And I'm like, these aren't other people's, these are just here for us. They put me in a taxi, they sent me on my way. I could pay with a card. Thank God. I was Googling in the car, and I did ask him. I was like, do you take card? But some do, some don't. So again, go ahead and exchange your money at the airport. Like, even if it's just some, it might be a little more expensive, but it's worth it to go ahead and have that start cash. But luckily he took card. Again, no option to leave a tip. And again, it's not as big of a deal from my understanding as it would be in the States, but coming from a server background, like literally having all these people help me and I haven't tipped them at all, like kills me. So just bear that in mind. So anyhow, fast forward, get to the Airbnb, finally unpack, take a nice relaxing bath, and I am hungry at this point. So I look up Uber Eats because I figured they had that as an option since they had Uber, and they do. So, and I'm like, you know what do I know I'm gonna like? Let me just get pizza. So I did. Got pizza, some French fries. I don't quite know. I don't know what this is. We'll figure it out later. But it said it would be here between like 6 and 6:20. So at one point in time, it was like, your order's on its way. So I think I mentioned, like, I have to go down like several flights of stairs, through a couple of like vestibules. It's very safe. It's very safe. I'll say that, to get from the outside of the apartment, like complex, I guess, the outside of the building to my actual space. So I was just like, listen, I'll meet the person out there and get it from them. Sit out there at like 6 o'clock and I'm waiting. And like at 6:20, I'm like, where are they? So I send the little thing that says request update. No update. So then I try to call. No answer. I come all the way back up here. I try to call again. They do answer and I'm like, sprechen Sie English? No. And I don't know enough German to be like, yo, I placed an order that said it was gonna be here like 30 minutes ago. What's going on? And especially without sounding like an asshole. But eventually he just got tired of me. And I was like, and he hung up. And I was like, I can't blame him. Like, what do you do with that? What do you do? So I looked up how far away it was because I was like, if it's in walking distance, I may just bundle up and walk to it. I mean, I already stood outside for 30 minutes waiting on it. It's 26 minutes on a bus. So I'm like, well, shit. So I go ahead and order from another pizza place. And I see it's closer. So I'm like, if I don't get it in a timely manner, then I can walk and go get that one without it being a big deal. So then I ordered that, sat down to start this vlog, and the first pizza place rings and says, hey, I'm here with your order. So that's what I have now. And I just got notification on my phone that my second order is now on its way. So I'm about to have hella pizza and hot Coke Zero, which I'm not a fan of. The first one, the Coke Zero they brought me, it was in with the food and it was kept warm. And ice isn't really like a big thing here, I guess. There's not any in the freezer. It's been a while since I've done much of the studying of German culture and things of that nature, because I did that like in college, back before I graduated in 2014. So I put that in the freezer, have my water, which I probably need to drink anyways, and waiting on my second pizza and another Coke Zero that maybe will be cold. But yeah, so pizza for breakfast tomorrow. So those are my adventures so far. It's been trying, but I'm excited. Tomorrow I plan to get up, get some groceries, walk around some. I've talked to a few people on like, I did talk to like several people on dating websites actually before I got here. And I put on there like, listen, I'm just kind of looking for friends, like show me around. So I've got like 2 or 3 people who are interested in like hanging out. So I'm excited to do that and see like a local take on the city and what have you. So stay tuned. Oh, and I guess here is the Airbnb. So this is home for the next couple of weeks. This is right inside the front door area. Let me see if I can't. Oh, I don't think I can turn it. It's right inside the front door area here. There's this thing hanging in the corner, which I think is a coat rack. I hope it's a coat rack. We're gonna use it as a coat rack, or we might not use it at all. Then we have the bathroom. This is kind of what sold me on the place. It's got gigantic garden tub. Yes. Love me a garden tub. And then, I didn't even know this. I'm whispering because I feel like the neighbors can hear me. But anyways, this mirror has a ring light built in. Boop, 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 boop. And then we have the kitchen and dining room area. I love how it's just so small and neat and only has the things you need. And it's so green. Everything is just so pristine and nice. The fridge even looks a little vintage. I dig it. Now the living room, this is also really cool. Got a TV so we can watch Netflix. Got this lovely blue velvet couch, some more greenery. It's just, the atmosphere in here is amazing. Now, here's another thing that sold me on this place. It's this balcony. But y'all, for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to open this freaking door. I'm going to have to consult YouTube, but it's beautiful out there. Next is the bedroom. So we've got a little closet area over here. Very just cozy room. More green plants. Just super cozy. All right, y'all, well, that's all I have for you this time. Please show a little love with that like button. Comment on what you'd like to see. Subscribe if you want to see more about my trip, and share with a friend. Thanks.